good to be back on the winning track. We led for over 39 minutes today and really kind of asserted ourselves throughout the game. We would obviously like to close things out a little bit better, and that's something that we'll have to get better at as we close out the season, the regular season. It's a concern, but we're going to focus on the positives, which is that we led for more than 39 minutes and shot the ball really well, out-rebounded a really athletic team with better size than us, and had 21 assists on 27 baskets. A lot of really good things there. And then today to win on Senior Day, honoring Keandra and Gabby H., and who I think is the best basketball player I've ever coached. That's Meg McConnell.
Okay. Dan, early the goalie defense adjustments really were working out. What do you think it was about having that choice just frustrate them so much, and how did that give you all juice as a group?
When you play the goalie like we do, it forces people to make shots that they're not used to making, and frankly taking. They're not used to even taking them. And tonight they made 6 threes, and they make about 4 on average. And so they were a little bit above their average, but we can live with that because we're having people take shots that they're not comfortable with. Doesn't allow them to gather a rhythm. And with they're having a little bit more size than us, and definitely a really athletic group, keeping that goalie in there really mucks things up and makes it really difficult for them. And then you've got to prepare for it. If it's on a 1 or 2 day prep, it's hard to prepare for if you haven't seen it all season. And so that's been something that's been good for us, along with our press all year. I think we're something like 18th or 19th in the country in turnovers. Today we only had 19, but that's because we were sitting in gaps a little bit more because we couldn't pressure them because of their athleticism. It would have turned into a layup fest, and we sat in gaps a little bit more. So the way that we defended today, to have 19 turnovers and 31 deflections, I feel really good about.
I asked the same question to Gabby and Meg, but how important do you think senior leadership is going down the stretch of the season, especially heading into a very competitive A-10 tournament?
We have 6 freshmen, and 4 and 5 of them play very meaningful roles. There was at one point tonight when we had about a 15-point lead when we had 4 freshmen on the floor. And so, you're playing with a lot of young people, and so it's not just down the stretch. It's been out throughout the whole year of people understanding how special Duquesne really is. When you have kids that come from other places and can say, hey, this guy treats you pretty well. These people treat you pretty well. You have a good place here. There's good communication amongst the staff and the players. There's a good positive vibe. There's relentless joy. There's relentless joy. And I think that the freshmen learn to appreciate that because they don't know anything else. So the people that transfer in can talk about that. And then you talk about your leadership of upperclassmen. Things have not always been easy for Gabby Hutchison. She's had some, disappointments in her college career. And so for her to play so far her best college basketball game ever on Senior Day just makes my day. And I know it makes her day and everybody else in that locker room. We're so happy for her. But the season is far from over. We're going to enjoy this to midnight with her, and then we'll prepare for St. Bonaventure. We still have a lot of basketball to play, and we believe that. But the older ones have been guiding the young ones all year, and it makes it a lot easier on the coaches because when you have peers working directly with peers in a positive manner, that's a lot better than the head coach.
Dan, I'm sorry first there's no water for you to drink, but since I'm asking a question, yes. But jokes aside, just the biggest learning lesson that you think you learned from Fordham and applied to today is what, and how did that make you a better basketball team?
We missed 16 layups and we shot the ball poorly from 3. you know, I don't dwell on losses a whole lot. We missed 16 point blank layups. We make 2 or 3. We make 1. It's a different game. We didn't shoot it necessarily well from the free throw line. We certainly didn't shoot it well from 3. What would I take away from it? Our shot selection could be a little bit better as a team, and then there's individuals who have to understand there's a reason why you're wide open. And the reason why you're wide open is because they're going to give you that shot every time. You need to pass the ball and cut hard so we can get a better shot. And I think that's something that we learned. That's really all I'd want to say about that right now. It didn't have any impact on this game. That was something that we washed off, and we learn from those mistakes so that we go forward and don't make those same mistakes. But we certainly don't talk about, well, hey, this happened in Fordham today in shoot around or in a huddle or yesterday in practice. We just simply say, hey, our shot selection needs to be better. Our shot selection late in the game needs to be better. There's a reason why you're open or not open, and some things like that. But we don't ever use the word Fordham or a previous loss.
I know you've said so many times on record that you don't pay attention necessarily to the extracurriculars or the things that are going on, but it was hard to ignore Meg kissing half court when she came out. For a player that's done so much, and for a player who potentially could have her number retired when all is said and done, just what does it mean, that moment, and just how special, and her physically explaining to everybody just what Duquesne means to her?
She will have her jersey retired. There's zero question about that. She will have her jersey retired. She's done more for our basketball program than just about anybody that we've had in our program. Those first couple years when I was an assistant and when I was a head coach, there's some really special kids that helped us elevate our program. But when things got rough and tough, and we didn't have a gym for 730 days, and we had COVID, and then we had a rash of injuries like nothing I've ever seen, we had to dig ourselves out of a big hole, and she's a big part of why we dug ourselves out of that hole. And I can't thank her enough for her belief in me personally, and our staff and our university. It's an often common thing that people know, but if you don't, Meg has had many offers to leave Duquesne and go into the transfer portal and make a lot of money. And that's not what drives Meg. Loyalty matters. Her alma mater, Duquesne, matters. Her teammates, her basketball program, and it's her program. That's what mattered to her. She stayed loyal, she stayed local, she stayed for all the right reasons. And I know that everyone in that locker room wants to win, but everybody in that locker room has extra incentive to win for Meg McCall.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you for supporting women's basketball. If you're going to be here on Wednesday, bring earplugs.